Hello, welcome to day 89 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading from Leviticus chapter 10, being 2 Samuel 19, we'll read Psalms 90, Proverbs 27, and Book of John chapter 6. We'll be in the scriptures 2009. Leviticus chapter 10 is on page 113. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, each took his fire holder and put fire in it, and put incense on it, and brought strange fire before Yahweh, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from Yahweh, and consumed them, and they died before Yahweh. Then Moshe said to Aaron, "This is what Yahweh spoke, saying, By those who come near me, let me be set apart, and before all the people let me be esteemed." And Aaron was silent. And Moshe called to Michelle and to Ephason, the sons of Jezreel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, "Come near, take your brothers from before the set-apart place out of the camp." So they came near and took them by the long shirts out of the camp, as Moshe had said. Moshe said to Aaron and to Eleazar and to Ismar his sons, "Do not unbind your heads, nor tear your garments, lest you die, and wrath come upon all the people. But let your brothers, all the house of Israel, bewail the burning which Yahweh has kindled. And do not go out from the door of the tent of appointment, lest you die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you." And they did according to the word of Moshe. And Yahweh spoke to Aaron, saying, "Do not drink wine or strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when you go out into the tent of appointment, lest you die. A law forever throughout your generations, so as to make a distinction between the set apart and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean, and to teach the children of Israel all the laws which Yahweh has spoken to them by the hand of Moshe." And Moshe spoke to Aaron and to Eleazar and to Ismar his sons who were left, "Take the grain offering that is left over from the offering made by fire to Yahweh, and eat it without unleavened beside the slaughter place, for it is most set apart. And you shall eat it in a set apart place, because it is yours by law and your sons by law, of the offering made by fire to Yahweh, for so I have been commanded. And the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the contribution you eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you, for they are yours by law and your sons by law, which are given from slaughtering of peace offering of the children of Israel. The thigh of contribution and the breast of the wave offering they bring with the offering of fat made by fire, to bring as a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be yours and your sons with you by law forever, as Yahweh has commanded." And Moshe diligently looked for the goat of the sin offering, and saw it was burned up. And he was wroth with Eleazar and Ishmael, the sons of Aaron, who were left, saying, "Why have you not eaten the sin offering in the set apart place, since it is most set apart? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the crookedness of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Yahweh. See, its blood was not brought inside the set apart place. You should have eaten it without fail in a set apart place, as I have commanded. And Aaron said to Moshe, See, today they have brought their sin offering and their ascending offering before Yahweh, and matters like these have come to me. If I had eaten a sin offering today, would it have been right in the eyes of Yahweh? And when Moshe heard that, it was good in his eyes. Moving on to 2 Samuel chapter 19. A little bit, on page 337. And it was reported to Joab, See, the sovereign is weeping and mourning for Absalom. So the deliverance that day was turned into mourning for the people. For the people heard on that day, saying, The sovereign has been grieved for his son. And the people stole back into the city that day, as people who are ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. And the sovereign covered his face, and the sovereign cried out with a loud voice, Oh, my son Absalom, oh, Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came into the house of the sovereign and said, Today you have put shame on all your servants, who today have saved your life, and the lives of your sons and daughters, and the lives of your wives, and your lives of your concubines, by loving those who hate you, and by hating those who love you. For you have made it clear today that you would have neither commanders nor servants for today. I know if Absalom had lived, and all of us had died today, then it would be right in your eyes. And now arise, go out, speak to the hearts of your servants. For I swear by Yahweh, if you do not go out, no one passes the night with you, and that is worse for you than all the evil that has come upon you from your youth until now. So the sovereign rose up and sat at the gate, and they told all the people, saying, Look, the sovereign is sitting in the gate. And all the people came before the sovereign. As for Israel, they have fled, each one to his tent. And it came to be that all the people were contending throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The sovereign delivered us from the hand of the enemies. He rescued us from the hand of the Philistines. And he has fled from the land because of Absalom. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, has died in battle. And now why are you silent about bringing back the sovereign? And sovereign David sent to Zadok and Ezra the priest, saying, Speak to the elders of Judah, saying, Why are you the last to bring back the sovereign to his house, since the words of all Israel have come to the sovereign to his house? You are my brothers, you are my bone and my flesh. Why then are you last to bring back the sovereign? And say to Amash, Are you not my bone and flesh? Elohim, do so to me, and more so, and more also, if you are not commander of the army before me all the days in the place of Joab. Thus he swayed the hearts of all the men and of Judah as one man, so that they sent to the sovereign, saying, Return you and all your servants. So the sovereign returned and came to the Jordan, and Judah came to Gilead to meet the sovereign, to bring the sovereign over the Jordan. And Shemi, son of Gur, a Benjamite, who was from Bahurim, hastened and came down with the men of Judah to meet sovereign David. And with him were 1,000 men of Benjamin, and Tisheba, the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons, and his 20 servants with him. And they rushed over the Jordan before the sovereign. And they passed over the ford to bring over the sovereign's household, and to do what was good in his eyes. And Shami, son of Ger, fell down before the sovereign when he passed over the Jordan, and said to the sovereign, Do not let my master reckon crookedness to me, neither remember what wrong your servant did on that day that my master the sovereign left Jerusalem, that the sovereign should take it to heart. For I, your servant, know that I have sinned, and see, I have come today first, all the house of Joseph, to go down to meet my master the sovereign. But Absi, son of Sariel, answered and said, Should Shimei not be put to death for this, because he cursed the anointed of Yahweh? And David said, What have I to do with you, you sons of Sariel, that you are to be adversaries to me today? Should any man be put to death in Israel today? For I do not know that I am sovereign over Israel today. So the sovereign said to Shimei, You do not die. And the sovereign swore to him. And Mephibosheth, son of Shaul, came down to meet the sovereign, and he had not attended to his feet, nor trimmed his mustache, nor washed his garments from the day the sovereign went away until the day he came back in peace. And it came to be when he had come to Jerusalem to meet the sovereign, that the sovereign said to him, Why did you not go with me? And he answered, My master, O sovereign, my servant deceived me. For your servant said, I am saddling a donkey for myself to ride on it and go to the sovereign, because your servant is lame. And he spoke slander against your servant to my master the sovereign. But my master the sovereign is a messenger of Elohim. Therefore do what is good in your eyes. For all my father's house were but dead men before my master the sovereign. Yet you set your sovereign among those who eat at your own table. Therefore, what right have I still to cry out any more to the sovereign? Then the sovereign said to him, Why do you speak any more of the matter? I have said, You and Tisheba share the land. And Mephibosheth said to the sovereign, Rather let him take it all, since my master the sovereign has come back in peace to his own house. And Barzillai the Gilead came down from Roland and passed over the Jordan with the sovereigns to send him on his way over the Jordan. And Barzillai was a very aged man, 80 years old, and he sustained the sovereign while he was dwelling at Menahem, for he was a very rich man. And the sovereign said to Barzillai, Pass over with me, and I shall provide for you in Jerusalem. And Barzillai said to the sovereign, How many days are the days of my life, that I should go up with the sovereign to Jerusalem? I am now 80 years old. Do I discern between good and evil? Does your servant taste what I eat and what I drink? Do I still hear the voice of singing men and singing women? Why then should your servant be further burdened to my master the sovereign? Your servant would only pass over the Jordan with the sovereign for a short distance. And why should the sovereign repay me with such a reward? Let your servant turn back again to die in my own city, near the burial site of my father and my mother. But here is your servant Kehem. Let him pass over with my master the sovereign and do for him what is good in your eyes. And the sovereign answered, Gehem is passing over with me, and let me do for him what is good in your eyes. Now whatever you choose of me, I do for you. Then all the people went over the Jordan, and when the sovereign had passed over, the sovereign kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned to his own place. And the sovereign passed over to Gilead and to Kiham, and passed over with him. All the people of Judah brought the sovereign over, and also half the people of Israel. And see, all the men of Israel were coming to the sovereign, and they said to the sovereign, Why have our brothers, the men of Judah, stolen you away, and brought the sovereign and his household, and all of David's men with him over the Jordan? And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the sovereign is our relative. And why are you displeased over this matter? Have we at all eaten in the sovereign's cost, or has he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, We have 10 parts in the sovereign, and in David too. We have more than you. Why then did you despise us? Was it not our advice first to bring back our sovereign? But the words of Judah were harsher than the words of men of Israel. On to Psalms 90 on page 698. Yahweh, you have been our refuge in all generations, before the mountains were born, or you have brought forth the earth and the world. Even from everlasting to everlasting, you are El. You turn man back to dust, and say, Return, O children of men. For 1,000 years in your eyes are like a yesterday that has passed, or like a watch in the night. You have swept them away. They are asleep. They are as asleep, like grass that springs up in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and springs up. At evening it cuts down and withered. For we have been consumed by your displeasure, and by your wrath we are alarmed. You have set our crookedness before you. Our secret sin is the light of your face. And all our days have passed away in your wrath. We spend our years like a whisper. The days of our lives are 70, or if due to strength, 80 years. Yet the best of them is but toil and exertion. For it is soon cut off, and we fly away. Who knows the power of your displeasure and your wrath, according to the fear of you? Teach us the number of our days, and let us bring the heart to wisdom. Return, O Yahweh. How long? And be sorry for your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your loving commitment, and let us sing for joy all our days. Give us joy according to the days you have afflicted us, the years we have seen evil. Reveal your work to your servants, and your splendor to their children, and let the pleasantness of Yahweh our Elohim be upon us, and confirm the work of our hands for us. Oh, confirm the work of our hands. Proverbs 27 on page 753. Do not boast of tomorrow, for you do not know what a day brings forth. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth. A stranger, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, and displeasure overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Open reproof is better than hidden love. The wounds of a loved one are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. One satisfied loathes the honeycomb, but to hungry one any bitter food is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from its nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. Ointment and perfume gladden the heart, and one's counsel is sweet to his friend. Do not forsake your own friend, or your father's friend, and do not go into your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. My son, be wise and gladden my heart, that I might have a word for him who reproaches me. A clever man foresees calamity, hides himself. The simple shall go on. They are punished. Take the garment of him who was a guarantor for a stranger, and for a strange woman pledge it. He who greets his friend loudly early in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse. Drops that never cease on a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Whoever represses her represses the wind, and his right hand encounters oil. Iron is sharpened by iron, and a man sharpens the face of his friend. He who tends the fig tree eats its fruit, and he who guards his master is esteemed. As in water, face reflects face, so a man's heart reflects a man. Shield and destruction are not satisfied, so the eyes of man are not satisfied. A refining pot is for silver, and a furnace for gold, so a man is tried by his praise. Even if you pound a fool into a mortar and with pestle, along with crushed grain, his folly shall not leave him. Know well the state of your flocks. Set your heart to your herds. For riches are not forever, nor need them to all generations. Grass vanishes, and new grass appears, and the vegetation of the mountain is gathered in. The lambs are for your garments, and the goats for the price of a field. And goat's milk, enough for your food, for the food of your household, and sustenance for your girls. John chapter 6 on page 1028. After this, Yeshua went away to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, that is Lake Kinnareth, and a very large crowd was following him, because they saw his signs which he did on those who were sick. And Yeshua went up to the mountain, and there he sat down with his taught ones. And the Pesach was near, the festival of the Judean. When Yeshua, lifting up his eyes and seeing a large crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for them to eat?" And this he said, trying him, for he himself knew what he would do. And Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, for every one of them to receive a little. One of his taught ones, Andre, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "Here is a boy who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are these for so many?" And Yeshua said, "Make the people sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, and the men, numbering about 5,000, sat down. And Yeshua took the loaves, and having given thanks, he distributed them to the taught ones, and the taught ones to those sitting down, and the same with the fish, as much as they wished. And when they were filled, he said to his taught ones, "Gather the broken pieces that are left, so that none gets wasted." And so they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with broken pieces. Broken pieces of the 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had eaten. Then the men, having seen the sign that Yeshua did, said, "This is truly the prophet who is coming into the world." Then Yeshua, knowing that they were about to come and seize him, that they might make him sovereign, withdrew again to the mountain alone by himself. And when evening came, his taught ones went down to the sea. And entering into the boat, they were going over the sea toward Capernaum, and it had already become dark, and Yeshua had not yet come to them, and the sea was rising because of a great wind was blowing. When they had rowed about 25 to 30 stadia, 3 or 4 miles, they saw Yeshua walking on the sea and coming near the boat, and they were afraid. And he said to them, "It is I, do not be afraid." They wished, therefore, to take him into the boat, and at once the boat was at the land where they were going. On the next day, the crowd was standing on the other side of the sea, saw that there was no other boat there except the one into which his taught ones had entered, and that Yeshua had not entered the boat with his taught ones, but his taught ones went away alone. But other boats came from Kinarth, near the place where they had ate bread after the master had given thanks. Therefore, when the crowd saw that Yeshua was not there, nor his taught ones, they themselves also entered the boats and came to Capernaum, seeking Yeshua. And having found him on the other side of the sea, they asked him, "Rabbi, when did you come here?" And Yeshua answered them and said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, you seek me, not because you saw signs, but because you ate of the loaves and were satisfied. Do not labor for the food that is perishing, but for the food that is remaining to everlasting life, which the Son of Adam shall give you. For the Father, Elohim, has set his seal on him." So they said to him, "What should we do to work the works of Elohim?" Yeshua answered and said to them, "This is the work of Elohim, that you believe in him whom he sent." So they said to him, "What sign then would you do, so that we see and believe you?" What would you do? Our fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, as has been written. He gave them bread out of the heaven to eat. Therefore Yeshua said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, Moshe did not give you the bread out of the heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread out of the heaven. For the bread of Elohim is he who comes down out of the heaven and gives life to the world." So they said to him, "Master, give us this bread always." And Yeshua said to them, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. But I said to you that you have seen me, and yet still do not believe. And all that the Father gives me shall come to me, and the one who comes to me I shall by no means cast out, because I have come down out of the heaven, not to do my own desire, but the desire of him who sent me. This is the desire of the Father who sent me, that all he has given me I should not lose of it, but should raise it in the last, should not lose it, but should raise it in the last day. And this is the desire of him who sent me, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him should possess everlasting life, and I shall raise him up in the last day. Therefore the Judeans were grumbling against him because he said, I am the bread which came down out of the heaven. And they said, is not this Yeshua, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he says, I have come down out of the heaven? Then Yeshua answered and said to them, do not grumble with one another. No one is able to come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I shall raise him up in the last day. It has been written in the prophets, and they shall be taught by Yahweh. Jeremiah 31:34 and Josh and Isaiah 54:13. Everyone then who has heard from the Father and learned comes to me. Not that everyone has seen the Father, except he who is from Elohim. He has seen the Father. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me possesses everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, and they died. This is the bread which comes down out of heaven, so that everyone might eat of it and not die. I am the living bread which came down out of the heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he shall live forever. And indeed, the bread I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world. The Judeans therefore were striving with one another, saying, how is this one able to give us his flesh to eat? Yeshua therefore said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Adam and drink his blood, you possess no life in yourselves. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood possesses everlasting life, and I shall raise him up in the last day. For my flesh is truly food, and my blood is truly drink. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood stays in me, and I in him. As the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so he who feeds on me shall live because of me. This is the bread which came down out of the heaven, not as your fathers ate the manna and died. He who eats this bread shall live forever. He said this in a congregation teaching in Capernaum. Therefore many of his taught ones, having heard, said, this word is hard. Who is able to hear it? And Yeshua, knowing within himself that his taught ones were grumbling about this, said to them, does this make you stumble? What if you see the Son of Adam going up where he was before? It is the Spirit that gives life. The flesh does not profit at all. The words that I speak to you are spirit and are life. But there are some of you who do not believe. For Yeshua knew from the beginning who they were, who did not believe, and who would deliver him up. And he said, because of this I have said to you, that no one is able to come to me unless it has been given to me by my Father. From then on, many of his taught ones withdrew and were not walking with him anymore. Yeshua therefore said to the 12, do you also wish to go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Master, to whom shall we go? You possess the words of everlasting life, and we have believed, and we know that you are the Messiah, the Son of a living Elohim. Yeshua answered them, have I not chosen you, the 12, and one of you is a devil. He was speaking of Judas, the son of Shimon, for he was the one of the 12 who was about to deliver him up. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.